All right, what is up, guys? Welcome back to Late Night Shots Podcast, episode 92. We got Mizzou's Noah Surtin today. So, what's up, man?
How you doing?
We're doing good. So, Derek.
Before we get started, guys, just want to give everybody a reminder. We are now sponsored by Body Art Nutrition. The link is in the bio. You can use code HWTN20 at checkout to save 20% off your order. Man, I never get it right.
I think it's better this way, but you can ask the first question.
All right, Noah. Welcome on the show. It's a pleasure to have you here. So I think we'll just get right into it with some of these questions. Coming out of a pretty successful 184 and 17 or 16 high school career, what was it like for you going through your college process, and why did you pick University of Missouri?
It was hectic and very stressful, I would say. Like when you're that young and you've had these dreams for a while. I want to wrestle D1 at all these schools and stuff. And then all these people are coming at you. Oh, we can offer you this. We can offer you this. And like your parents are telling you to do one thing and all this stuff. There's just a lot to consider. But I do know that I had a lot of help with the decision. My mom went to Mizzou. I'm 2 hours from Columbia. I had my high school coach, or one of my high school coaches, coached at Mizzou, so I had connections with Coach Nathan and everyone before. So I really liked the atmosphere. I love the coaching staff, and I actually got really lucky when Maple and Todd got here. Like basically as I came in, I love those guys, and I just think the team and everything. I just felt at home right away. I absolutely loved my visit, and I think that was it. Like I didn't have too much time to take a bunch of visits just because Smith and them kind of had me on a time frame. Like it was kind of a big offer, and they had like a lot on the table, I would say. So it was kind of like I had to make a decision quick. I only visited Illinois, and I only did that just because my parents wanted me to compare. And after I did that, I knew Mizzou was the place to go.
Yeah. So a big year for your team. You guys moved into the Big 12. You won the Big 12. And I want to say you had your first individual national champ since maybe Jaden Cox.
I think it was Jaden. I'm pretty sure it was Jaden because he was after Drake, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it would have been Jaden. I think they said since 2017. So I'm pretty sure that was Jaden. But yeah, I'll be honest, like that didn't surprise me at all. And it's funny because I've literally been telling people when I'm working out at the rec with like random students or whatever, or I'm around campus or other people, how's the team doing? Oh, I heard your 65 is really good, all that stuff. I literally have told them for months he's winning a national title. Like all these people, like all season, it made me so mad for him. And he's just the type of humble dude that would never say anything. But I was like just telling everyone, I was like, Flo and all these people, they're just dumb. Like I was like, how do they not have this kid at number one? Like, especially just after dominating everyone, just his mat IQ and everything. I was just so happy for him. He's like a great dude. I've never had any complaints about him. He works hard, and he's just a great guy to have all around. So nothing but happiness. And for him, he worked his butt off, and he deserves it.
Yeah. I mean, you probably already saw, kind of picked Evan Wick. He was on the podcast before, so we had to. Just to get that out of the way. I know.
Okay, that's a fair, like I get it between it being between him and Wick. Wick's obviously a very good wrestler, and he's been around for a while. He's a 3 or 4 time All-American before this year. So like I understand that, but I still think like I don't know, some people were just totally dismissing the idea of him winning. We
had him in the final.
Right. And even some people were saying, oh, if Valencia could upset him, this, that. I'm like, you guys are crazy. Like, you guys are crazy. Like, I don't know. I think it's just obviously bias. I'm on the dude's team, but also like, I just witness everything. I spar with the dude. I do whatever. And like, you just feel useless and helpless when you wrestle him because every single thing you do, he has an answer for. I mean, I've never been around anyone with that wrestling IQ, and I really don't think he loses a match the rest of college.
Yeah.
So.
I think my thought process to this tournament was Wick's going to make the finals. Obviously, it happened with Shane. You probably saw that match. he makes the finals, probably takes like a 3-2 match off a riding time or something, and then Keegan
Right.
goes in and wins the next 3 titles and
Which
goes on to
I
his
could
career.
definitely see being plausible. And I
Yeah.
100% understand that. Yeah. So, I mean, and I honestly do think Shane Griffith was a better matchup for Keeg than
Yeah.
Wick was, if Wick would have won,
Yeah.
just because of his size, his strength. Keegan's still maturing in that area, and he's obviously really young. But it still wouldn't surprise me if Keeg beat him as well. So,
Yeah. I mean, I kind of just view Evan Wick as like a more developed Shane Griffith, I want to say.
right.
I think he had that match won, but when you wrestle a guy 4 times in one season, they're kind of a guy that good. They're kind of bound to get something eventually.
100%. I agree. And respect to Shane Griffith for finding a way. I mean, that's what you got to do when it matters. So,
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, for you taking that first trip to nationals, what was that like, with you and, quite a lot of your teammates, you guys qualified quite a lot of guys to wrestle the national tournament. So what was that like for you guys, as a group of, for a fairly young team, you got, yourself and Keegan, Rocky, like you guys are a fairly young squad.
Right. So this was my second national tournament. I didn't know if that first you were talking about last year, but yeah, last year didn't count, so I get it. But it was really awesome. Edmonds, that was his first national tournament, and I think he was the only one that hadn't been to a national tournament. But obviously, we still got other freshmen. Rocky and Keegan are technically freshmen. I'm a freshman. Allen still has a year left. Elam has 2. Jarrett has 2. So, like, we all have a lot of time left. And I think I wasn't disappointed with how we wrestled and the effort that we put in, just because I do think that every guy stepped out there and put it all on the line. I was super proud of Zach. Zach Elam, I think, came out of his shell a little bit at the tournament and actually started hitting some moves and really getting to his offense, and he had some success with it. Edmund had a tough draw, but he wrestled those older guys tough, and he's getting a lot better. So I just think I know that we have much higher goals. 9th is not our goal. We want to get a team trophy and even win a national title in a couple of years, which I think is attainable. But right now where we're at, I think a lot of us know that we have a lot to learn and grow in, and I'm just excited for the future. So
yeah, so obviously your team has kind of jumped levels. I think in these past 2 years, I think Don Bradley coming back, coaching, guys getting in, Keegan O'Toole, one of the biggest, I think, high school recruits out there. I remember like back when it was a huge upset when Keegan O'Toole upset, I want to say, Ryan Anderson. And that was like way back, yeah.
Right.
And then Ryan Anderson went D3, and like that dude could have been incredible if he went somewhere else. But looking at this, I want to say Rocky placed 4th this year, an incredibly stacked weight class. Keegan won, and then Zach. I think Zach made the Bloods, right?
Yeah, it was me, Zach, and Mako that all lost in the blood round. Yeah. So
there were some rough draws. I mean, pulling Gable round 2 isn't exactly like something you want to do. So
exactly, yeah. I think a lot of our guys didn't have the best draws. I think Mako definitely could have wrestled better in that first match against Kaufman. They know each other really well. They're both from like AWA, he told me. So it's just kind of a tight match and frustrating style matchup. But he battled back and he beat some really good guys in the backside. I mean, we're all kind of that close. Just that blood round, man, that's a crushing. I've never experienced anything like that, I'll be honest. I mean, just to be that close and to lose in something that important, it's pretty tough, but it'll light a fire under your butt. It'll make you want to get a lot better, I can tell you that. So I think that's where a lot of us are.
You're at 125. Obviously, we talked about this a little bit off camera, but Lee's coming back next year looking for his 4th title. Soriano's gone, and then you kind of have Vito and Glory, who are looking to chase Lee, kind of pull something off, stop him from that 4th title. And you're still pushing, try to get on that podium. Like, where do you see yourself like for next year looking at the field?
I'm really confident in it. I've always started that next level a little lower than I wanted to, and I think I tweeted about it a couple days ago, right after the tournament. High school, my freshman year, I didn't even make it to state, and I ended up being a 2-time state finalist, state champ. In middle school, I like barely placed my 6th grade year, and then I won state the next 2 years. I think it always takes a little more time than I want to kind of develop and get ready at that next level. But I really feel like I'm at that turning point right now. I think I've made leaps and bounds from my freshman year, and I really do think that I can be one of the top guys next year. I'm looking to make a lot of improvements over this next summer. I'm going to be working with Maple and Keegan and all these coaches, and my work ethic and everything is second to none. And I don't know, I'm confident, and you got to be confident, in a field like this with all these guys that are this closely matched. But yeah, I'm definitely looking at All-Americaning, and I mean, making a run at the finals for real. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So
can't have low confidence. Not in this sport.
So I think a big event that went on this year was the collegiate duels. You got to take part in that. You had a big win against NC State. So if you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, that was a big one that kind of started everything off. This is my first year kind of starting the full year and getting that experience with those high level matches. And I think that was right after VTech and UNI. That was like a week or so after that. So I had just wrestled Latona, and that was, I would say, my first big win, you could say, kind of like in a dual team setting, beating Latona. And then I lost a tough one to Teskey, got caught in a cradle in the third. So going into that, I had confidence. I was like, all right, I'm here with these guys. I just beat a returning All-American. I'm getting a lot better in the room. My confidence was going up. And I had to be a good guy to get the spot this year too. I don't think people really realize, like, Connor Brown's no joke. I mean, we were battling in the room. I kind of edged him out. He ended up going 33 for us, but that was kind of the start. But going into that Camacho match, I was just like having fun. I just remember in Florida really just being like, dang, this is pretty cool. Like wearing the MIZ on my chest, like being on this top 10 team, and we were almost top 5 at the time. I was just like, I've been dreaming of this since I was a little kid. So I was like, go out, have some fun. I did. Ended up winning a pretty tight match, and he almost took me down at the end. I ended up getting like a gator bacon with like a second left or whatever. And that was pretty fun. That kind of started off, and I think that made me a lot more confident going forward after that match, because I was, I beat him, then I beat what's his name from Lehigh, Lane, who was ranked like top 15 at the time too. So those are both pretty big wins, and it was just really cool to do that for the team, especially in a dual team setting.
I think Lane was he good?
Lane was like 11. He was ranked 11th at the time.
No, I wasn't sure about his camera.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Somebody came to my door. Somebody came to my door.
So about the whole Connor Brown thing, was he the guy in I remember I was looking through your Instagram profile trying to get like a thumbnail. Was he the one you're just slamming in the wrestle off?
Yes, but he beat me in that match actually. That was like 2 years ago. Yeah, he beat me. It was like 2-1 or something. It was like really close. And then this past year I beat him like 9-6 or something, pretty high scoring match. But yeah, we've been battling for a while since he got here. So
he's what, a year younger than you, or?
No, he's 2 years older than me.
He's 2 years old. Okay.
He was at South Dakota State, and then he transferred to Wisconsin, and then he transferred here my freshman year. And he had already wrestled both at Wisconsin and South Dakota State.
Okay. Yeah, I remember the name from somewhere.
Yeah. So I mean, he's really a big, big reason I've been making jumps and getting a lot better. We battle every day. So.
Yeah. So going back to the collegiate duels, like I don't think you guys got to wrestle Penn State or Iowa there, right?
No, we really wanted to wrestle Iowa. Really bad. We would have had to beat NC State, which was a pretty close duel. That was heartbreaking.
I think NC State was like a couple points away from knocking off Iowa too. After that,
it was a pretty good duel.
Yeah.
Right. I remember watching Lee wrestle Camacho, and I was like, "Ooh, I could beat Lee. And then he ended up, dropping out right after that because he was really hurt. But I remember his dad walked up to me, Spencer's dad, after my match with Camacho, and was like, "I'm really impressed with how you look like." And I was like, "Oh, I appreciate that." And I didn't know who that was. And my dad goes, "You know who that was?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "That's Spencer Lee's dad." I was like, "Oh," all right. Like that's pretty cool. But you don't want to like look up, like I don't know, like look up to someone or like make it seem like that cool thing. Because at the end of the day, dude's at my weight class. Like that's why the premise of people like following Suriana or doing whatever on Instagram and kind of like idolizing him. It's like, nah, that dude's in my weight class. Like if I wrestle him, I want to beat him. I don't want to hold him at this like high pedestal, which I think I did when I was younger. But now I'm realizing these dudes are just human, just like I am. Like on any given day they can get beaten. So.
I think what's his name? Gable was talking about that in one of these interviews where, like he beat the reigning Olympic champ, 3-time world champ, on his way to Olympic gold. And he was talking about, I was like in 2016 in Rio, he was watching Taha from Turkey and then win Olympic medals there. And he's like, I kind of had to switch my mindset because if I went in there with the same mindset that I'm looking up to my idols, I was going to get my ass whooped.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you can't. That's the thing. Like all these people, like, oh, Spencer Lee. It's like, yes, I'm not going to say that dude is not really, really, really good, But I can't have that mindset like, oh, Spencer Lee's unbeatable, because what does that do to me if I end up wrestling him first round at nationals, or whatever? Like this year, even like I wasn't looking past Teskey, and obviously Teskey beat me in a close match first round, but I did have the mindset if I beat Teskey and I wrestled Vito, I was like, I can pin Vito. I can do this to Vito. Like Vito is obviously very good, but it's like you can't go in with a bad mindset, or you're defeated already, and that's pointless. Why even step out there at that point? Honestly.
Yeah, I guess with that mindset, I guess we'll talk about this. If you wrestled Lee, in theory, how would you go about it?
Oh, well, I need to work on my leg defense over the summer, so that's what I'm going to be working on. But hard hand fight. I mean, I actually, it's funny because I've been watching the finals. I've been watching Lee and all those the past couple of days, kind of just analyzing and trying to look at what do they do that makes them so top notch. I think just moving my feet and really staying low and just a hard hand fight. You don't want to just kind of sit there and let them take it to you and fire off that high crotch, because if he gets that high crotch, he's really good at finishing. And then honestly, I don't know if I choose down. A lot of, obviously it's a huge thing with him. Like he doesn't do anything special, but he gets that wrist every damn time. So it's like, all these guys are good on bottom, like they're not fishes. Like he does it to literally everyone. So I'd probably have to go neutral. I don't know. Again, I think I could catch him in something. I got a lot of tricks up my sleeve, just like little things that I feel like I can get in people. I try to get to my underhooks, get to my attacks. And then on top, I'm pretty freaking good. So, and I've seen Glory turn him and ride him. So heck, I'll go for some turns on top too.
I mean, I think the one thing, I think Lee was like super hyped up until I want to see the pitch and any match in the middle of Oklahoma State. Yeah.
Yes.
I remember that was like the day after. Cradle. Yeah. I think that was the day after like I got my flow count, and I was just freaking out. And I texted like 100 different people that. And then like that kind of, kind of goes away. Like Spencer Lee's not invincible. He can lose matches. Right. Stuff like that.
People got to realize anyone on any given day. Heck, even I think it was the finals when Gable wrestled Schultz, and Schultz like knocked him to his hip real quick, and like he almost had like a bundle or something. I watched it only like briefly, like a day or two ago. It's like, okay, what are the chances of Gable getting pinned? Not likely, but it can happen, So like that's why every single match, no matter who it is, if you're stepping across that line, you gotta have the mindset that I can beat this guy no matter what. I don't know. Like my freshman year, just an example real quick, like I wrestled Glory at Midlands, and I remember, this guy got third or fourth like last year. Like I just got to try and pin him. I just got to try and like catch him in something. And I was being really dumb, and I would like let him get my wrist and tilt me. And I'm very squirmy. I got a crazy bridge. So I would just try to bridge and like grab his head and reach around and like try and catch him in a headlock or something. And I remember his coaches being like, Pat, you got to stay on top. He's squirmy. Like, what he's looking for, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was sitting there like being a dummy, and he ended up teching me in the third period or something because I gave up like 4 tilts. So don't be reckless like that and look for just tilts. But I remember after that match realizing like that dude, obviously he's good, but he was not like some crazy, unbeatable dude that I kind of imagined before going in there, you know? And that's the match that kind of made me realize, like, the dude's just like you know? I don't know.
Yeah. So you're talking about like mindset a lot going into it, just like being smart. What do you think truly like makes a difference between like these top guys then?
I noticed towards the end of the year, and I didn't have a very good Big 12s tournament, and I wrestled a lot better at nationals. I think the key is just having fun. And it sounds cheesy and a lot of people say it, but it's so much harder than people make it out to be. It really is. I mean, this was by far the hardest year I've had mentally and physically. I mean, I've never had to cut weight for 6 months straight and do all this. And people always say, oh, you're running all the time. It must be so hard on your body. Mentally, I was way more drained than I was physically. I mean, going into those matches day after day in front of all these people for your team and doing all this stuff, cutting weight and doing this, like, it's hard to keep a positive mindset and going like, man, I'm lucky to be here. I get to wrestle today. Not I have to make weight. I have to wrestle. It's I get to make weight. I get to wrestle for the team. So I think it's just changing that mindset and realizing that, you know, you're healthy. Spencer Lee has 2 torn ACLs. He couldn't wrestle this year and he would have loved to wrestle, you know, like you can't take it for granted. And I think just having fun with it and being like, this is cool. This is really cool. You've been dreaming of this since you were 8 years old. Go out there, have some fun, and just wrestle your best match. And I think that's all you can do, you know. It's not life or death. I think sometimes we make it out to be this huge thing in our head before, but it really is not the end of the day, win or lose, you know.
Yeah. So this being your first like real NCAA tournament with fans, everything.
Right.
Well, I know everybody talks about. I think saw the Hayden Hiley interview. He talks about how this tournament's like everyone's dead by the second, third day, and you're just like working to push through, right? Because I think you can
Right.
wrestle up to what maybe 8 matches in the tournament if you in the wrestle back's a weird way. But
Probably something like that. Yeah.
but I think you wrestled what like 5, 6 matches.
I wrestled 5. I think I went 3-2. I think that's blood round. I lost first round, won 3, and then lost in the bloods. Yeah,
So
3-2.
even then, like these are like I know a bunch of high school kids. Like you wrestle high school matches, it's like yeah, you feel something after, but like your body doesn't get too fatigued. Then you add that extra minute in, it's like 10 times harder, and then your competition goes up, and not then you have to make weight and do that for all 3 days. Like how stressful is that just on your body in general?
It's a lot, and I think I don't know. People don't really realize the level jump. Like all those kids in high school that you thought were good, like oh, that kid's a state champion. Those are the only guys you're wrestling at Division I level. Like pretty much, those are the only guys you're wrestling. Every single match is a grind. Like in high school, I had 52 matches like my junior year, and then like 51 matches my senior year, and I was fine because 40 of those matches were probably, no offense to those kids, turds, you know, like they're just not at that level. They're not looking to wrestle Division I, so they're not putting in the work and the time, and they're just not as good. These kids are working out every single day, twice a day, some of them, and you know they want the same thing that you do, and so it's a grind. It really is, mentally, physically, all of it. I mean, I think 30 matches or a little over that this year, and that's 30 matches that I really had to work. I mean, 90% of those I really had to work and you grind out a win. So it's much different, but you learn to respect it. And you also learn to respect all those guys before you that were 4-time All-Americans or 4-time national champs or whatever, because you're like, damn, like that dude did something that, you know, you can't even fathom or imagine because this sport is freaking hard.
Yeah. I was gonna say, what does your recovery process look like, or like what you do, just like in general, like if you have something,
Like before or after?
just like all around, just like after matches, like cool downs, or like before like rehab and stuff.
Before tournaments, a lot of time, I'll be running a lot and kind of working out a lot just to keep my weight down and stuff. So we have an ice bath, and I like to get in that a lot. Sadly, saunas are illegal, so no saunas. But in the off season, I do like them for recovery and kind of just stretching and and doing that. They're really good for you. But honestly, it's just mainly just stretching and cold tubs, cold baths, just to keep my muscles and my joints and everything feeling pretty good. And then I'll do some sprints and stuff after matches for a cool down. But yeah.
Yeah. So how do you think this is like kind of changed? Like we're talking about the level jump. How do you think, obviously like I wrestle in college. Like a lot of things obviously change, right? Because you have to be like all the little things matter in a sense, right? Like your recovery, like what you're doing before, like your cool down, your warm-ups and all that. How do you think that's
Right.
changed for you since high school when you can just go out and pin 90% of kids in the first period?
How has my recovery changed?
Just like, like recovery, like warm-ups and like all that, like compared to the high school level to like jump to that next level.
I think like you said, it's just doing all the little things right. One thing that I think a lot of kids don't focus on that people don't think about much is sleep. I think sleep is huge. A lot of all my teammates and the people I live with know that I prioritize it, and I get like at least like 8 hours every night, which I think is fairly rare for college kids. Like 8 to 9 hours, and I think especially during season when I'm cutting weight, my body is just going through all this stuff. I think it really does help. Um, Warm up, I make sure my joints and everything are really warm and stretched out before we start wrestling, just so I don't tweak anything. So I think things like that, like in high school, you could just kind of walk into the room, jog a couple laps, and kind of jump into things or do whatever, just because I don't know, it just you weren't getting as like physically taxed, and things weren't as demanding. But I think it's just like sleep, what you're eating, more so like lifestyle choices, and then when you're working out, just making sure that you're fully warmed up, and then afterwards you're stretching and kind of letting your muscles recover. I think that's probably key. That's how I got accustomed to the college workout schedule.
Yeah.
So we have, we've talked to tons of college guys, up and down from level to level. And, I'm surprised this question hasn't got asked, but you mentioned cutting weight a couple times. What was that like for you, both trips for you to nationals, making weight for those 3 days? Was that, was that difficult, or is that kind of just like a natural, it comes off and then the next day you're good? And
Honestly, like the 3 day weigh-ins really aren't bad. Just because of the fact, like, I don't know, obviously you're wrestling matches throughout the tournament, so you're losing weight in those. And then it's just, I don't know, you don't really need to worry about what you're putting in your body, because you just need to put stuff in your body for you to feel good. So you worry about the weight later, you need to win matches. So it's just about fueling yourself to where you feel good for your matches. And then if you're winning, that's why you're going to weigh in tomorrow. So it doesn't matter. Oh, I won through today and I made it the next day. Here we go. We got to cut the weight. And for me personally, I have a pretty good healthy diet. So my weight doesn't jump up a ridiculous amount in the middle of tournaments. It's more so how I manage my weight the weeks prior. So,
I think our 125 is like 160 right now, and our season ended like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Man, I saw him yesterday. I once at the Dunkin' Donuts. He had a box with like a burger and fries in it, a burrito next to it, another bag with about 3 sodas. And I saw him at the Dunkin' Donuts line. He got, I think, 2 donuts and a large iced coffee. I saw him walking back to his room with that. I saw him at
It's a
dinner that
problem.
night too. Yeah.
It's a problem with 125s. It genuinely is. I really think the sport would be a lot more enjoyable for some of the smaller guys if we didn't have to cut as much weight. I know it would be for me, and I think I know a lot of other guys that are at the same weight and that talk about it and speak on it, and that's why people end up going to 33 and things like that.
Yeah.
People do say it's part of the sport, which it is, but I think to an extent. I don't know. I just think that the sport almost became more so like, how can I like most efficiently cut my weight than what can I do to improve in these areas, like especially this season. I feel like that was a huge focus, was just keeping my weight down, which a lot of people have to do it. I'm not even trying to complain about it or do whatever, because it's just part of it at this time. But I really do wish there was a way where I could I guess it's moving up a weight class technically, but we got a good team, we got demand. So I don't know. Yeah, cutting weight's a a pain in the butt, but it's part of the sport, so you kind of just got to deal with it.
Yeah, I don't know if you watch freestyle a lot, you might, but if you look at like these foreign guys, something that I've noticed is like people in general in like other countries are just smaller,
Right.
which
Uh,
because like you look at 57, I think it's 125.4. So you look at those
right.
guys, they don't look like a lot of them don't look like they're cutting weight at all. Like if you look at Aguyev or
Right.
yeah, guys like that.
I haven't really noticed, and I'm sure they're cutting a lot of weight, to be honest. It might just be, yeah, I don't know. I feel like they'd be cutting weight. I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't know much for these foreign guys.
Nah, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sitting here, we got our little spreadsheet we made about you up, and I was very impressed with your 2019-2020 redshirt season. 16 wins via bonus points. That's pretty insane.
Right.
Like, what was that for you? I'm sure that, coming right into college and putting up 16 bonus point wins, that kind of had to solidify for you, you're at the right place, you belong here.
Right. Yes, in a way, but also I'm not very proud of my redshirt season. I just feel like it comes down to the level of competition, and I was wrestling at a lot of opens, and I wasn't necessarily wrestling like the best kids. Like I did have a really good UNI tournament. I will say that I beat Biscaglia, who's still really good. He was in the Big 12 finals this year. And I beat some good guys. Don't get me wrong. I beat CJ Severado, who's my teammate. I wrestled him a couple times. But I do think there were some D2 guys that I lost to that, I would love to get some revenge on and smash a little bit now that I look back.
Any names?
I'm not going to call anyone out, but they know who they are.
Did he win?
They are.
You're sitting here talking to two D2 heavyweights, so we were questioning which one of our teammates. We're sitting here thinking.
Wait, who do you guys wrestle for?
We both wrestle. Go ahead.
Shippensburg. We got Tyshawn Waite is like the one kid.
Okay, yeah, I never wrestled him. I don't think.
Yeah, and then I wrestle at East Stroudsburg. It's like a small D2 school in PA. So
okay.
Is it cool?
I never
wrestled. I'm gonna run into you, to be quite fair.
It was more local, like Missouri, and
Is it Cole? I don't know where he's from.
No, I don't know where he's from either. I never wrestled him. I saw that. Okay. That's the dude that won, right?
Yeah, you think he majored Portillo did?
Yeah, it didn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they know who they are. They know who they beat. Some of them celebrated, and I would love to take them down and put them in a bow and arrow. But that's for another day, if they want to come up and wrestle.
Yeah.
No, I think a big one, obviously, you might not want to talk about this, but Southern Scuffle. You lad dropped the shit out of Drake Ayala. We don't got to talk about the rest of it, but
No, we will. I'm not going to shy away from it. I think that comes to it's so hard to explain because it happened last year. I don't know if you guys saw my NCAA matches from last year with McKee first round when I was beating him 6-0 going into the third period, and with Cardinal when I was beating him by 2 with like 30 seconds left. I don't know how to explain it. One thing I do want to say though, and I'm not going to shy away from saying this on air, he was pinned. All right. Dude beat me twice. I'll give it to him. Dude was freaking flat, and I think that ref was getting paid. That was bullshit. Sorry. I just got to say that. He was flat. He was gurgling. I was squeezing the absolute piss out of him. I'm not even kidding. He was like, I was squeezing everything I had. All right. I was like, oh yes. That was a pretty nice throw, and I was waiting for the ref to slap the mat. But props to him for fighting off his back, even though he's pinned. And so the rest of that match, the second period, I know I wrestled good. I just kept focusing on underhooking his right side and just a hard hand fight. I struggle with kids with a really good lefty single, and that's who I had in the blood round this year. That Kaler kid's really good with that too, which is something I'm going to work on. But I just remember in the third period, we were wrestling. I was fine to start it off. I was like, all right, let's get another takedown to end this match. And he took me down on the edge. And I just remember like hitting my ass, him like collecting 2, the ref like putting 2 up. And I looked over at my corner and like Smith was like yelling and my coaches looked like frantic. Like they were like, and I just remember like fog. Like I just remember like, I just saw like, because people thought Ayala's got this gas tank. Like he just broke Surtin. Like Surtin's got no gas tank. Like what? Okay, yes, it looks like that in the match. I was not tired at all. It was a complete mental. I don't even know how to explain it. Like if you're not in the situation, you can't feel it. But it was like the most confused. Like I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what the score was. I'd step on the line and he's in my face. All these Iowa fans are screaming, blah, 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 blah. He's in on my leg. Oh, I'm holding on. Next thing I know, I'm on my back. Like it was the most hectic thing ever. And I can't even tell you, but it's like the worst feeling imaginable. And yeah, the match ended. I ended up beating me by like 4 or something when I didn't, like I said, at the end of the match, when he took me down to kind of tie it up so we'd go in overtime, I didn't even know what the score was. I was just holding on for life. And he ended up getting back points. Like, why was I holding on? Why was I doing all of this? Like, it's so hard to watch that match. It is so hard to look back and watch it. But yeah, I was distraught after that one. That one hurt me a little bit just because, like, why? You know?
I remember one of my matches my senior year of high school. I think it was the first ever match. This was like, so I didn't know how hydration testing worked because I was a heavyweight, but I was like 300 coming from football. I was like 280. I was like 287. I pissed in the cup thinking I'm gonna be fine. They tell me the day before the match I'm only allowed to go down to 285.2, which turned out to be a problem. And there was like the number 4 kid in the state committed to Rutgers, wrestles there now. My coach was like, just weigh in under 285. I'll get you an exhibition match with him because the other 2 kids were like not good. So I go out there. I'm talking shit like the entire month before this, like when we're just practicing that I'm gonna latch up the shit out of this kid. Right. I go out there, we just tie up. I'm like, okay, he's not like all over my legs or anything. He goes upper body with me. I know he loves that knee pick. I lat drop him. Everybody's screaming. My head just goes blank. And then he like bridges through it. So I'm like, all right, I'll let him up. I'll do it again. And then I'm not seeing anything. I just see like a big bear running at me. And I try to lat drop him again without an underhook or an overhook. And I somehow get him like halfway over and I pin myself. I look up at my coach, just shrug at him and he gives me a high five and I just leave.
Yeah.
The last round.
Yeah, I've told this story so many times.
Building for itself, you know. It's got a reputation. Yeah. You know, I've seen the match. I could agree with you that he was definitely flat for at least enough time for the ref to see that he was flat.
It was.
I don't understand. Like, I remember my coaches being so mad. Like, I gotta end that match and win it, you know. So it's like you won the match.
You got plenty. You both got plenty more time. You'll see each other another 5-6 times before your guys' careers are over. So
exactly, and yeah, and it was just especially after that first match where I really feel like, I mean, he just wrestled really good, and I think I just, like I said, I struggle with that type of style, and I didn't wrestle a smart match, and he beat me pretty good. So I really wanted that redemption, especially for third, you know, just kind of end the tournament. And for it to end like that sticks with you. That's gonna stick.
And I like that you gave us
I want that match back.
Yeah, you gave us that little piece of insight that he was laying there on his back gurgling, and the ref wasn't like, I wonder if he's okay. He's seriously, not pinned, but
like literally gurgling. Like I still vividly remember squeezing him so hard and him like making sounds, and I was like, I don't know if I'm about to choke this dude out, but like just call the pin and we'll be good, you know?
Squeeze. Hey, like, you choke him out, that's not your problem. You just sit there. And
I was just like squeezing so hard and like, oh, that's why I give him props for even getting off his back because I had that tight first. But yeah.
Did you tune into the Rudis Plus card at all?
Was that the one with Jaden and Snyder and all them?
Yeah.
I tried to like follow a little bit of it on Twitter, but I didn't watch it or anything.
Yeah, it's $60. I don't want to either.
Yeah, nah. Wasn't that at National? It was in Detroit, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I know Gable pulled up too.
Yeah, I was focused on my own tournament at that point. I was just letting them, like, of course, Gable did. Gable wants the attention. That dude can do what he wants. I had to focus.
I think they before they started, they lined up like all the Olympic gold medalists. I think it was Kenny Monday, I don't think John Smith was there, but I know it was Jordan Burroughs, Gable, and like a bunch of other guys, like older guys there.
Right.
So
It's pretty
obviously,
badass.
Snyder versus Jaden. I think the first match was really good. The second one was just like whatever, you know. There was one
I
where
remember
I
watching
think
the score on Twitter. Sorry. And yeah, I saw Jaden was winning, and then I don't know, Snyder ended up like fouring him or something, and then beat him
yeah,
like in criteria, which is pretty rough.
I think it was a caution because Snyder like just like did the normal drop down, try to take him out of bounds, and this was like towards like the people. Then
Right.
5 feet out of bounds, Cox goes double overhook lat drop, like off the stage.
Dang.
Yeah, they blocked screen recording, which kind of pissed me off. The thing, like,
Right.
yeah, Derek.
Yeah, but so what's obviously you guys have a really successful season this year. Emotions have to be high. You switch conferences from the MAC, then you dominate the Big 12. So as a whole team, what are you guys looking forward to, and what do what's that big dream for you guys as a whole, that you guys are practicing hard obviously to get to?
The national champions, obviously, like a lot of people be like, there's no way Mizzou would ever win a national title, blah, blah, blah. I mean, Keegan's going to win the next 3 years. That's a national title right there. That's a bunch of team points. We got
Rocky,
kids on our
yeah.
team that could break through. We got Rocky who could break through, and Rocky's still got 3 more years. Me, Connor Brown's going to be really good. Alan Hart is so good. He definitely should have like All-American this year, I think we can genuinely get a lot of All-Americans and a couple champs, or a couple people in the finals and really get a lot of points. And as a team, I think we know that, and I know Smith knows that. And that's our goal. Like, we're not going to shy away from that. Is it a big goal? Yes. Is it hard to do? Yes. But like, that's what you got to do. So I think we're all really kind of changing that culture and the atmosphere and really getting ready to do some big things in the next couple of years. Big 12 title was just the start. But it was still pretty cool, though.
Yeah. So I think before Derek gets into his final questions, Nationals already ended, so we'll do it way too early. 2023 national picks.
National picks for each week?
Yes, we'll do it.
Yes.
Gosh, I'm gonna get a lot of probably slack for some of these. 25, I'm not gonna say anyone else. I gotta go with me, just because it wouldn't feel right saying anyone else. So I'm going no Surtin 2023 national champion. All right, 33. Bravo's not coming back, right?
No.
Bravo Young, RBY.
Yeah, he's not.
It's
No. Okay, see, before we get into anything, technically what I have happening is Fix loses next year in his 7th year. Right, he takes a Olympic red shirt in his 8th, comes back and wins his 9th, then sets the record for being in college for the longest amount of time.
Real, that wouldn't surprise me.
9 years in college. That I could never. Like, I couldn't imagine. Like,
No,
he's lucky. He's lucky. He's most likely on a full scholarship, because I don't know how you could afford 9 years.
No, he has like so many sponsorships. He's a 2-time world team member too.
Yeah.
He's pulling in well over 6 figures.
For sure. So I guess if it's just Fix, I'll go Fix. Here's the thing. Fix is a damn good wrestler, but it just drives me crazy that he gets caught with that, with the drugs, and then doesn't lose a year of eligibility or something. Like, what are you teaching wrestlers and people? Like, there's definitely people that are at nationals this year that are probably on some PEDs.
Yeah.
And what are you teaching them? Like, they can get away with it just because they ain't gonna lose. They're gonna lose crap. Like, dude found a way to cheat the system and still come back and make a national finals. I think there should be more. I don't know, slap on the wrist. That's all they kind of did, and I think there should be more punishment. But dude's a good wrestler, so I'll take Fix at 33.
I think the better of a wrestler you are, like the more leniency you get, because you remember Zahid with like the coke and stuff. I think he only got like 2 months off and he really wasn't a threat to make the world team that year with Taylor there, right? And you have Fix, who's already made one. The Austrians probably to cut the weight off. They want to be back for that.
Yeah. I don't know. 41. Gotta go. Nick Lee's still got another year, right?
No, he's done.
Oh, he's done?
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm being told.
Crap.
Yeah,
No, he didn't. He never redshirted. He started his true freshman year.
Dang,
He went 4 straight.
that's impressive.
he could have been like
So
a
unless he
full-time
comes
too.
back with the he could
I'm
he
going
could
with
technically come back with the use of the COVID year, but
No, he can't. 18, 19, 20, and then 22.
oh, he's done.
Yeah, I think so.
Then I'm taking my boy A Hart then. All right,
Hey.
Alan Hart.
solid
41.
pick. Solid pick. Yeah.
He's a dog. He'll definitely break through on the podium next year at least. 49. Is Yanni done?
He has one more.
One more.
I'm going Yanni, dude. That dude
So,
had a good tournament.
I'm gonna say something which I probably shouldn't say, but I feel like someone's gonna shit the bed on their 4th national title. I have nothing to
don't
back
think
this
it'll be
up.
That's
Yanni.
the obvious. It's an obvious answer. It's gonna be Spencer Lee. He's gonna lose.
I
To
don't
Noah
want to
Surtin.
say that
Come
because
on.
it sounds like I'm hating on
Facts.
Iowa,
Facts.
but I'm not. Like,
I'll be
I don't
honest,
know.
it really would. Spencer Lee is a dog, but coming back from 2 ACL surgeries, I don't think he'll be 100% the same. He might be.
Glory's good.
Regardless, Vito's good. Glory's good. Hey, he's got some people he's gonna have to beat.
Yeah.
All right, so
Hey,
it's
listen,
not.
all
It's
I
not
have
a
to
given.
say is 2 words to remind everybody who Spencer Lee is. PA States. That's all I gotta say.
Exactly.
Oh, God,
Anyone
I'm about
can
to
be
get
beaten.
blocked. Oh,
3 is
man.
his magic number.
We might have to get you back on here if you pull that upset. Who knows?
Yeah. Hey.
There we go. All right. 57.
Yeah.
Car.
Monday. Monday's there.
Car. I'm going Car. Car's got to get it back this year. He'll be back.
Yeah.
He's definitely got a fire lit under his ass after this year.
That's crazy though.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have like the sons of like 2 wrestling legends going at it.
For real.
Yeah.
It is crazy. 65. Keeg. All the way.
Nobody
Four-timer.
can now nobody can say a thing that
For
he's
real.
not.
And I love it. I love it. You can't. You literally can't. Like,
I
You
think
can't pick
He's a
against
dog.
Keegan O'Toole.
I have a big question
I
though.
don't-
Does Griffith go up to 74?
Is he that big?
He has the frame for it. Like he definitely does, but I mean he's
I
a
don't think
1-point
he
match
does.
in the
I
finals
don't
to a
think
guy
it-
younger than you.
If Deacon never had to go up to 65, then he doesn't have to go to 74.
Deacon started
Yeah,
off
I
at
don't think
59
he's-
though. That's the thing.
He's huge though. Like
It's just frame. Like if you look at him from the side, he's like this.
I don't think he's going 74.
I don't think
I
so.
think he
think
goes
so either.
65. And
Okay.
he'll take an L in the finals against Keeg again.
don't think he makes it.
74. That's true.
I don't know.
74. Who won this year? Strachey?
Starachi
Strachey.
over Makai Lewis.
Yeah, I'm going Strachey again. That dude's a dog.
Yeah.
I'll give it to him. 84. Brooks. 97.
I know what
say
you're
it.
gonna say.
Honest
You
to
can
God,
say it. I'm not gonna be
you
mad.
could say it, and I don't think it's that crazy of a pick.
Listen, I'm not going Ferrari just because I can't stand him. And again, he might, you know what? He might see this and be like, "Oh, you didn't even All-American." I don't know if you guys saw the Twitter things.
Oh
with,
my
Hayden
God. I
Hastings and
wanted to
stuff.
respond to that so bad. But he followed
Listen,
me.
like
I don't know.
I would not speak out just because I'm not in the place yet. All right, I didn't.
Yeah.
I saw Hayden Hastings blood round match, and I knew once he went after him. Okay, I thought it was funny, but I was like, dude, you're about to get roasted because you're talking to a natty champ. Like, regardless if you like him or not, he's a natty champ. Like, you gotta. I don't know, but
Bro, he got
I
ratioed
respect
hard
that.
on that
Call him
one.
out. Yeah, that one was rough. I knew he was about to come back with the you didn't AA. So that's what
Yeah,
happened.
I mean, he got like 1,500 likes on his. Ferrari only got 300 on the comeback.
Ferrari's just, I don't know. He's
I
a
don't know.
tool bag.
Especially with everything with John Smith, what John Smith is saying too now.
I don't like Oklahoma State. I'm sorry. I don't like Oklahoma State. I know some of their guys are probably good, like good people, whatever. I just don't like Oklahoma State.
How do you think?
Everyone on our team does?
How do you think John Smith feels about this, just in general? Like, I feel like if Ferrari didn't do what he's done in the sport already, like he still has potential to be the 4-timer. But what do you think Smith thinks about this, just like in general? It's
He'd
like
be gone if he wasn't a national.
I know, but like, what do you think he? Because there has to be
He'd be
some
out of the
repercussions,
program.
right?
Listen, if Kale, if
The car crash?
Not the car crash. Like obviously, no matter what he did, it's still like a life or death situation. And as a coach, you can't
Right.
just kick your guy to the curb after that.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like before with like the tweets of Burrows, Gable.
I think John Smith, I don't even like calling him intelligent, but he's an intelligent dude. He's been coaching for a while. I think he knows that Ferrari's a character and that he's a bit immature at times, but at the end of the day, that dude's a damn good wrestler. And it's a business, and he knows that dude's going to help him win a national title or have the best team possible.
He reminds me, he really is the Juju Smith-Schuster of college wrestling. Like he is. He's
worse,
to
though.
be in the
He's even worse.
To be in the public eye.
Ah, man, some of the stuff he does is just so stupid. Like the TikTok he loaded up the freaking semi-automatic or whatever and was waving it around. I'm like, dude, you're gonna actually like shoot holes in your ceiling. Like, I don't know. The dude is just very careless, says some stupid things, but he can get away with it, I guess, because he's a damn good wrestler. I guess that's how it works. I don't know.
All right.
So why is Rocky Elam your pick?
Rocky Elam, I think is what you're saying.
I gotta go Rock just because he's a two-time All-American.
Hey,
he's young.
He gets a chance, yeah.
The one thing, and we talked about it today because we talked about what we need to work on. He needs to work on bottom with Buchanan. That was his downfall in those matches. You know, he can wrestle with anyone on his feet, get to that single leg, but he's young, so he's got to work on some bottom and getting away from the better guys on top. But I got to put faith in my boys. So, and then heavyweight. Jeez, Gable's gone.
Kirk Fleet.
Yeah, I'd go Kirk Fleet too.
I bet. I can agree with that.
I think it's a good choice.
I think what's it called? I think Elam definitely places because he was on the blood runs as a freshman. Yeah, because I saw him. He bullied Stencil in that one thing.
That was crazy, and he's never beaten him. He's honestly not gotten worked, but I don't know, hasn't had the best matches against him, and he went out there and just tossed him to his back. That was crazy.
Was that like first
I was going crazy, huh?
So I need to find that whole match somewhere, but I remember what's it called? Stencil has Stencil's pinned Mason Paris.
Stencil is good. Stencil's a 5-time MAC champ. He's beaten Zach 3 or 4 times, and Zach went out there, underhooked him. I don't know if it was a cow catcher or if he just tossed him and then ended up going to a cow catcher. But I just remember I was like with my girlfriend and a couple of my teammates, and we were on the edge getting ready to watch his match, and we look over and he's throwing him to his back, and we were going crazy. It was awesome. Zach was fired up. That was really cool. I was happy for him.
I also just love the team pictures that him and Rocky took together. They're some of the goofiest pictures.
Yes. I know
glasses on and everything. Like,
yes.
I feel like those two have to be so fun to be around, like in the room together.
Yeah, those dudes are goofy. There is something. It's pretty cool to have 2 brothers that are that good on a team like that. You know, it'd be pretty cool to have my brother on there with me. So they're fun to be around, and they're good guys.
Yeah, I think final question before Derek gets into his, like, obviously I think Don Bradley's a guy we had like way back when on our podcast. I know he's been following me since I started this page, text each other, not that often anymore, but we used to, like when he was competing. You know, his career has probably come to a close soon. Just, you know, he has a family and all that. What do you think he brings, like having that much of an experienced wrestler, an accomplished wrestler come in and coach your team?
That dude is a G. That dude is, everyone on our team loves him, man. I love Dom. I know Dom loves me. Dom's always there for us. His heart breaks for us just as our heart breaks when we get those close matches, you know. And he's just a great guy to be around. Always got the best advice. And when he's in your corner, he's always that guy that's level-headed. He always, you know, he's calm. He's able to kind of bring you in and focus you and not let you kind of lose, I don't know, get your mind lost and everything. And I just think he brings a lot of wisdom and talent. I think with our heavyweights, he's really helped, you know, get them a lot better and grow with them. He'll wrestle with Zach and all of them all the time. And I just say, as a dude and as a person overall, I just think he's a great guy to have around. I mean, super positive and just always there for you when you're in, you know, when you're in your low points. Because I know there was a couple times this year where I was in my low points, and he walked up to me and he told me gave me some advice or words of wisdom and really helped me feel a lot better and kind of change my mindset. So that dude is very wise and he's great to have around.
Yeah, that's awesome. He's a great dude. I know. I talk to him pretty often. I remember we picked him to win the Olympic trials, because I think he was the one person who actually accepted the invitation to be on the podcast. Obviously
Right.
Gable exists. It is what it is, but
Right.
yeah.
So we find it really hard to pick against the guys that, because, we just did like a whole video of NCAA recap. And like the one thing like we agreed on and like said together at the end of it was, we appreciate the people who come on the show because, we believe in you guys just as much as you believe in us. And, we've had exponential growth over the last year and a half to where we are now to be able to talk to guys like you and all these other big D1 wrestlers that go to these big schools, because at the end of the day, we're two 18 and 19-year-old kids with a dream. So, and that's how most of you guys are. You're young guys in college, like chasing the same thing we're after. So, we appreciate all you guys that come on, especially when we got to talk to Dom. That was big for us. A guy at that caliber, who's he's been through everything. He's done everything you can in the sport. So
he's that type of guy who got his way to help people out, and he's just nice overall. Like I really have no complaints at all about him. So and I think he's actually said a couple of things to me about like Heavyweight Nation and like some things like that before. So I think I've like heard he's definitely like said some things about you guys to me. So yeah, I think.
Yeah, no. So we'll wrap it up here, and I'll get to ask some fun questions to kind of close it off, get everybody's mind off of wrestling. We talked enough wrestling on the last hour. So, so what's it like for you? You mentioned cutting weight. We're Heavyweight Nation. We have to ask a food related question always. So what's the post weigh-in meal? What are you eating right after you step off the scale to kind of get yourself right, get yourself ready?
So when we're traveling, our coaches always order McDonald's. So I'll get like an oatmeal with some fruit and stuff. That's like the healthiest option you can get from there. Some coffee. I always have to have black coffee. All right. Cause it warms me up. I get the chills like crazy. My teeth will start chattering. So some coffee for some caffeine. And then I always have like 1 bars. I don't know if you guys have ever had like the protein 1 bars. I always have a couple of those and like trail mix. And I'm a big fruit
flavor.
guy.
Go to 1 bar flavor.
Oh man. I don't know.
I don't know what's it called. If you were following my page during the Olympics, I remember I stayed up for I want to say 58 hours.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Probably wasn't a good idea. Like I probably shouldn't say it's on there, but like I was here in school, like, and I was going out and stuff,
Right.
But
that's crazy.
It was rough.
It's the grind.
I remember I have a coffee maker. I think I went through, I want to say 20 something cups of coffee in those 3 days.
Golly, that is intense.
I was I gained 4,000 followers though, so it's kind of worth it.
There you go.
And then you have Gable commenting on my post the second after he beats Taha Ghul. It was like I remember it's like when I say something, I'm gonna do it. Don't ever doubt me again, because I remember we picked against him in that match, and it didn't go very well.
That's just how he is, though. He always just be dropping random comments on our page. It's just random. He'll just throw in his 2 cents.
Does he follow you guys back?
No.
It's rough.
Dang.
I was hoping now that his career is kind of over, he might, but I'm tempted to just drop like 10 grand into ads and just grow my page bigger than his.
But final question, we asked this to everybody, a little bit longer one, so be ready. You take 4 of your teammates on the Mizzou lineup with you into the zombie apocalypse. Which 4 and a short reason why you'd take each one of them?
Oh God, 4 people. 4 people on the starting lineup. All right.
It doesn't have to be the lineup. It can be anybody. Anybody you're close with on the team. Anybody on the
anyone on the team.
Yeah, on
and
the
coaches.
team. Yeah, coaches. Anything.
Coaches too.
Yeah.
All right. If we're talking coaches, Dom's my number 1. I'm going Dom. That dude is the one dude on the team that I will straight up not mess with. Like if you know anyone on our team, I will literally give all of them shit. I will talk shit to Smith, anyone. I will call anyone out. Dom, that's just territory you don't go into, man. Dom's untouchable. So
it's a big dude to mess with.
Yeah, I'm bringing Dom in with me. That's one dude I'll like to have on my team. All right, number 2. Gosh, this is kind of hard to think of people right on the spot. All right, I'm gonna go Jeremiah Kent. At he's our 184. That's one of my boys, and that's a bad dude. It's a dude you probably don't want to mess with. So it's another good dude to have on my team. He'll mess some zombies up. So I got 2 big dudes now. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go CB on this one. That's like my main dude. That's our 33-pounder. He's a feisty son of a gun, just like me. So I think it'll help out. You know, we need some speed and agility. So my third, and then last, I'll have to go with A Hart Allen. He's a Akron boy. He's been through it, and I think he'll mess up zombies up too. So that'll be my 4.
There's your zombie super squad. We should start clipping these together because we ask everybody this. Since I started coming on the show, this has always been my favorite kind of like off-topic, random, non-wrestling question. I would like to see everybody's list compiled in one video. See who really built the wrestling super squad.
That's true. Yeah.
We've had some. That'd be crazy. I forget who Dom said. Would be. Dom said, I forget who Dom had. He had a pretty solid list.
I don't think we asked the question back then.
Yeah, we did.
But
I think he took it as like guys who were like fighting to who were like wrestling, like trying to get on Team USA. So he knew all these guys. So he was just like, oh, like guys like that were just insane.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you could go the route of like picking all the biggest guys, but like that's not as fun.
I feel like then your group is slow. Like
that's true. Yeah, you gotta have some speed.
No, we really appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you. We look forward to catching up with you later on in your career down the line when you've achieved that top of the podium level that you're working for. So we appreciate you coming on.
Hell yeah! Good luck to you guys. I've seen the growth. I'm still following, and I'll keep following. Sure. So good luck with everything, and I appreciate it.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming on. So this has been episode 92 of the Late Night Shots. We'll see you guys again next time.